Jai Mother. Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. At the feet of Divine Mother Sree Rama Devi by Mrs. T.N.K Nair. Section 2, The Divine Ministry, Audiobook, Part 5a. O Devi, when thou art remembered, thou annihilates the fear of all beings, who but thee has the melting compassionate heart to help all humanity. It is with great joy that I remember the unforgettable days of Mother's visit to Trichur. It is indeed difficult to give a detailed portrayal of the divine manifestations we were blessed to perceive. It was a torrential outflow of divine grace, and the devotees responded with spontaneous love and faith. During that visit, many came to realize the divinity of Mother. The bhavas and mahabhavas, which lit Mother's life with godly brilliance, left their impressions on human hearts, being the channels, as it were, of her power to effect purification and spiritual regeneration. Though Mother was ever in the Purna Bhava of her godhood, yet it was in her worldly play, in the perfection of human and divine roles, that her greatness was revealed. At times, she was in the austere bhava of the Guru, enforcing the disciplines of Shishya Dharma. At other moments, we perceived in her the might and majesty of Devi. After witnessing these Mahabhavas, many had mystical experiences and left her presence with awakened consciousness. Many minds were drawn to a higher plane of awareness, and many of them surrendered, recognizing her as their chosen Guru. Even to this day, those who witnessed the Mahabhavas remember them with joy and reverence. For at the time of an advent, it is the personal impact that predominates, awakening us from the slumber of Ajnana. It was on 18th of November 1950 that Mother arrived in Trichur. This was Mother's second visit. The first visit was an unplanned one, a divine act of mercy to grant solace to my aged mother. It was a private visit, so to say, and there was no time to arrange a public darshan, as Mother stayed only for a day. 1 year had gone by since then. Mother's arrival was in the evening. A number of our friends had gathered in our house to welcome Mother. In front of the house and all along the drive, myriad lights twinkled in the gathering dusk. The sweet perfume of the flowers and incense, the diverse ornamentations typical of Kerala, and the air of festivity brought about a joyous anticipation of Mother's arrival. My husband, children, and a few others had gone to Shornur railway station to bring Mother by car to Trichur, so as to avoid a tedious journey by train. At the sound of the car, all faces turned expectantly towards the gate. It was as if the ages had rolled back and we were in Ayodhya awaiting the return of Sri Rama. We hastened to the car with deepams, ashtamangalyam, and garlands. The auspicious notes of the Nadaswaram rolled out in welcome. As Mother got down from the car, her beautiful face had a smile of love, and our hearts overflowed with adoration. As was customary, we approached Mother with water to wash those lotus feet. But with a smiling gesture, she took the water from our hands and washed and dried her feet herself. Mother was led to a decorated seat, And as we began a song of welcome, Mother was absorbed in Samadhi. Many of those present had never seen Samadhi before. The grandeur of that immersion in the Absolute, so rarely seen in this world, astounded them. A mantle of silence fell over the gathered. The touch of peace, hitherto never experienced, was felt by many a despondent soul. Then prayers and songs in praise of Devi rose up. Among the crowd, there was a dear friend of my husband, Sree K.G. Shankar of Koilon, who was suffering from an incurable malady. Mental fears and depression too had set in to add to his misery. Feeling certain that he would gain peace and strength by seeing Mother, my husband had invited him. Barely able to walk, he was seated on a chair nearby. As more and more people arrived, they crowded round him, and he was unable to get a glimpse of Mother. Time passed, and later Mother came down to relative consciousness. Then, as though she sensed the presence of that suffering soul, Mother came through the throng of people and stood before him. The lotus eyes gazed at him with luminous tears of mercy in them. Those tears did not rise from the mind of Maya. They were an unspoken assurance of redemption. The invalid was a great Krishna Bhakta. Gazing at the Mother, the intuitive insight came to him that here indeed was the heaven he craved. Emerging from that mood of silent compassion, Mother gave him some fruits and silently withdrew to her room. Thus commenced Mother's visit to Trichur, when for 12 days our house became a veritable temple. From nearby towns and villages, devotees flocked to our house. We lived in a state of perpetual joy, serving the stream of devotees. The awareness of her divine presence filled us with tranquility and harmony. People with different chosen ideals like Rama, Krishna, Shiva, Shakti were all drawn to Mother as great Mahabhavas flitted through her in their many-faceted godly brilliance. The next evening, there was a public program of bhajan and discourse. The hall was crowded. A big party of disciples came from Mangalore and Tellicherry at 7 p.m. They came in a procession singing the sweet name of Krishna. They were led into the hall where Mother was in the midst of her discourse. She rose up and joined the singing with great force. We were reminded of the Nagara Sankirtan of Sri Chaitanya Deva. As the name of the Lord rose in waves, in the midst of it, Mother stood in the Mahabhava of Sri Krishna. The devotees of Trichur were witnessing for the first time the grandeur of the Krishna Bhava, where it was not Mother, but the bewitching Lord of Vrindavan who stood before them. Coming down partly to external consciousness, Mother moved like a flash into the adjoining room. When the devotees followed her into that room, they found Mother sitting on a sofa. The sweetness of Krishna had changed into the imperial majesty of Devi. Such was the power she radiated that our little selves vanished and we were conscious only of the Mother. No one dared to break the silence by a prayer or a song. Time passed unnoticed. Suddenly the room and surroundings reverberated with the solemn sound of Om. The divine nada resounded not only in the room but appeared to come from outside as well. It was all around us too. We were on the first floor of the house, yet the vibrant sound of that mystic pranava was heard all through the house. People on the ground floor rushed upstairs. Those who were in the kitchen and other rooms came and stood transfixed. Mother's lips did not move, but the nada emerged from her in ever growing intensity, as if she was the veritable source of that first creative universal sound. An elevating ananda filled all minds. Slowly, the all-pervasive pranava, which became manifest through her grace, dissolved back into her. The music of that sound came to a stop as mysteriously as it had started. There was now a slight movement in that radiant figure. The lotus eyes half opened, and words of blessing and benediction came, the assurance of eternal protection to our family, which had suffered so many calamities, as also blessings for all bhaktas. Then, still in that mood of divine compassion, Mother retired silently to her room. The next evening, there was a bhajan in the big hall in our house. People poured in, and soon the hall and surroundings were overflowing with devotees. A party of 40 or 50 lady disciples had accompanied Mother. It was a sublime sight to see them seated in disciplined rows, with closed eyes, and singing with ecstatic fervor and melody the names of God. Suddenly, Mother started singing the beautiful sloga Kasturi Tilagam in praise of Krishna. Her face was golden in luster, hands raised playing on an invisible murali. She was Krishna himself, the self-effulgent one. A mystic, intoxicating fragrance of camphor and sandalwood began to emanate from her, permeating the surroundings. Then, singing Radha Krishna, Mother danced in the midst of the assembled. Soon Mother's bhava changed. Singing Bol Hari Bol, she was the personification of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We felt we were in the streets of Nadia, and our souls too danced in the intoxication of prema, transcending the barriers of relative consciousness. Those days, the women of Trichur, though they were systematic in their daily visits to the temples, never performed bhajans or sankirtans. But as the Mother moved into their midst, they felt a power surging into them, and forgetting themselves and their surroundings, those shy women sang the chorus with whole-hearted fervor. Even after returning to their homes, they said such was the impact of that divine love that even though they did their duties, all the while their thoughts were on Mother, waiting for the next day's darshan. Some had dreams and visions of Mother as Krishna. Sharanam Sharanam Ramambike, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage, Charanam Sharanam Ramambige, Charanam Sharanam Trayambage. Jai Mother.